feel today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, it's not over. It's just getting started. I'm AJ Jones, Talk Your Team Tuesday here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm letting the sun shine in for this show. And again, I'm not on it long, but we got to get to it quick because it is the championship, the AFC Conference Championship and the NFC Conference Championship wrap up right here on the show. And man, I'm telling you, a lot of folks got a lot to say about the outcome of those games this past Sunday. And I got to say, nobody is as surprised as I am, but I did pick them right. I said I had Kansas City because I'm not voting against or betting against Mr. Patrick Mahomes until somebody beats him. And once again, nobody was able to beat him. Didn't beat him in the wild card round, didn't beat him in the divisional round, and they did not beat him in Baltimore in the conference chip round. So, hey, say what you want to say, but Patrick Mahomes is just that dude. Fourth trip to the Super Bowl in the last 6 seasons. I know. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady because he hadn't won as many as TB12, but he is definitely in the discussion. I mean it. In fact, let me go ahead and give you my greatest quarterbacks of all time, Chip. Number 1, Joe Montana. Never lost a Super Bowl. Let's just get that out there. Number 2, Tom Aloysius Brady. And right now, number 3, Patrick Mahomes. So he's on the way up, and he could get there. But I got Joe Montana, Tom Aloysius, and then Patrick Mahomes. That's just me. That ain't our top quarterback list. That is mine. So there we go. All right. So we'll start there. It's Talk Your Team Tuesday. If you are a Kansas City Chief fan and you want to get in, hit me up, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. I want to hear from you. Baltimore Ravens fans, a lot of talk about what didn't happen in that game. A lot of folks felt like Lamar Jackson's trying to prove that he is a pocket passer. He threw the ball. How many times did Lamar throw the ball? He threw the ball 37 times compared to 39 by Patrick Mahomes. He only completed 2 of those. And of course, he threw a touchdown, and they had 1 or 2 picks. One pick. So I really don't even know where to go there. Lamar didn't make the big plays that folks thought he would make with his legs. He led the team in rushing 8 times for 54 yards. But I think where the biggest concern is the fact that they only ran the ball. They only ran the ball 16 times. No way in the world you could tell me that they needed to run the ball. They needed to throw it 37 and only run it 16 when you are literally in a, what was the score? 7-7 after the first quarter, 17-7 after the second quarter, 17-7 after the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, you score your 3 points. Now, there were unimaginable things that happened. The fumble in the heading into the end zone by Zay Flowers, the fumble or interception in the end zone by Lamar Jackson. I mean, those things happen. Those things happen. And they are what we call drive killers. And they ended up being game killers for the Baltimore Ravens. But I do have to look at the fact that the time of possession was heavy on Kansas City, 37 minutes and 30 seconds to 22 minutes and 30 seconds. That's huge. That's abnormal. And then the run disparity. The run disparity. 32 carries versus 16. And watch this. Kansas City was only averaging 2.8 yards per carry. Baltimore's averaging 5.1. You got to run the ball. You've got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. And I know at least the second year in a row where the run game has come into question in the playoffs for the Baltimore Ravens. I know folks want to talk about Lamar Jackson being a running back, playing a quarterback. I mean, again, I said it on my last show, even cursed, that's just ignorance. That's lunacy. I'm not addressing that. I'm not going to ever get into that discussion, even with the closest of friends. But what I will say is in this particular instance, I would have loved to have seen Lamar run the ball, especially on fourth down when you need a first down and opportunities where it's not there. At this point, bro, make plays. Make plays. Just go out and be the playmaker that you are, because that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes did when it came down to it. Mahomes ran the ball 6 times for only 15 yards, but he had that 11-yard run that kept the drive going. And again, it proved to be a game changer. It proved to be a game changer. Your running backs only ran the ball 6 times for 23 yards. 6 times for 23 yards. Lamar ran it 8. Gus ran it 3. Hill ran it 3. Zay Flowers had 2, jet sweeps or whatever. Yeah. I don't know who the run game coordinator is. We always know that there's an offensive coordinator, a passing game coordinator. Who's the run game coordinator? That person is who we need to have on the podium asking questions to after that loss. The defense did as good as they can do against a team that is built for the playoffs. I can't say it in many more ways, and I've already said it. The Kansas City Chiefs are as built for the playoffs as any team could possibly be. You know, everybody looked at the old Miami Heat with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade. That was a playoff team. That was a team that all they had to do was get to the playoffs and then do what they did, and they did that. Golden State Warriors were a playoff-built team. Yeah, they won 73 games, didn't win the chip, but they were a playoff-built team. Not looking so much like that now, but they were a playoff-built team. Those old Laker teams, the old Steeler teams, the old Cowboy teams pre-Tony Romo were playoff-built teams. You got to beat them in the playoffs. I don't care what they did in regular season. Y'all talk mad cash noise about them in the regular season. I even jumped in on some of it, and then I pumped my brakes about 3 games, 4 games before the end of the season. I said, wait a minute, what are you tripping on these guys for when their season hadn't even really started? I'm not saying the regular season doesn't matter. It does. You got to get to the playoffs. But once you get in the playoffs, I know everybody's 0-0, but Kansas City's 0, first 0 is a little bit bigger than everybody else's because they are built for the play. They still have Andy Reid, right? They still have Patrick Mahomes, right? They still have Travis Kelce, right? They still have Jones on the defense, right? Playoff built team. Playoff built team. And they did what they needed to do They got the deal. If you want to complain about it, look, Baltimore had more total yards than Kansas City, 336 and 319. Net yard rushing, 89 for Kansas City, 81 for Baltimore. Baltimore's number should have been in the 150 to 160 range. Their carry attempts should have been in the 32 range. Kansas City ran the ball twice as much as Baltimore, and it should have been the other way around. Should have been the other way around, or at least should have been equal there. So, you know, I don't know what to say. And even if you want to talk about Lamar throwing the ball, net passing yards, 255 for Baltimore, 230 for Kansas City. So, you know, and then there were the penalties. I mean, the penalties against Baltimore. That's where a lot of folks are saying that it's rigged. That's where a lot of folks are saying that the NFL is, scripted and all of that, because there was a string of penalties. I'm not saying that they weren't penalties. You got a guy clotheslining Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was trying to step up in the pocket, kind of scrambled a little bit, stepped up in the pocket and got clotheslined. I mean, you already knew that was a penalty. Davion Clowney got one called on him. You know, the folks looked at the penalties and felt like, you know, Kansas City and the NFL were back in love again. But all I can say is this: Kansas City is a team that you got to beat in the playoffs. I don't care what you do with them in December. I don't care what you do to them in November. I don't care what you do with them in January. November, October, September. Doesn't matter. What'd you do to them in January? It's a whole different story. It's a whole different story with this Kansas City Chiefs. And Baltimore's going to have to learn from this. John Harbaugh has got to go back, look at what happened in this game, take all the emotion out of it, and make some changes. While everybody's talking about Lamar Jackson's record in the playoffs, I need y'all to run me John Harbaugh's record in the playoffs. That's what I want to hear talked about more. It ain't a race thing. It ain't a race thing at all. It ain't a race thing. Does Lamar Jackson need to be better in the playoffs? Hecky, yeah. Sure does. Absolutely. Hades, yes. Yep, sure do. But John Harbaugh's got to coach better. John Harbaugh has got to coach better. And he's got to make sure his coaches coach better. And any good coach worth his salt in the game will get out of the media, will get out of the press conference, get off social media, and get back in an office somewhere with his coaches around him, put that game film on and say, this one was on us. That was on us. This is what we should have done here. They've got to learn from this. All mad. All right, hold on. Let me run these comments back. Keith Henry, good afternoon. Oh, yeah. Hey, Keith, what's going on, bro? All mad. I picked Tom B, Joe M. Okay, so I got you. You're saying Tom Brady, then Joe Montana. I get it. And most do, because when you add up the totality of Tom's rings, the losses don't matter to a lot of people. But, you know, I'm Joe Montana. The dude never lost a Super Bowl. And listen, I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan, so he beat them in a Super Bowl. Keith Hennig said Niners will beat them in February. I don't know, Keith. I'm just going to be real honest and say this. All this game manager talk by dudes that literally never played quarterback in their lives is funny to me. And I'm coming for us. I'm coming for the broadcast journalists. You got us out there saying stuff that we've never done before. We ain't never played down a quarterback in our lives and on a professional level, let alone a college level, in many cases, not even on a high school level. Patrick Mahomes ain't a game manager. Patrick Mahomes is a playmaker on a lot of love. That man can do things that most folks dream of. You got folks out there in backyards somewhere trying to be or pretending to be Patrick Mahomes. You don't have folks out there pretending to be game managers. And I say that to say, before I get to my next game, I say that to say Brock Purdy ain't a game manager either. God dog it. If you saw some of the plays that dude made, that dude is a playmaker. It's like, listen, this is for the bros. This is for the bros. Bros, if y'all ain't rocking with Brock Purdy because he ain't Lamar Jackson or he ain't Jalen Hurts. Let's leave that alone, because that brother is a playmaker. I ain't saying invite him to the proverbial cookout and everything like that. You know, I don't help people get all goofy because Baker Mayfield can dance. Baker Mayfield is a booty hole. He can't come to nothing I got rocking. So we ain't talking about cookouts. We're talking about playmakers in the NFL. Lamar Jackson is a playmaker. Didn't make plays on Sunday. Patrick Mahomes is a playmaker. Made plays and got his team an ugly win. It wasn't a pretty win. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't poetry in motion. He didn't paint a Picasso, but he got the win. And he's moving on to his fourth Super Bowl in his last six in 6 seasons. Give a damn whether you call him a playmaker, a God maker, or whatever maker. The dude made plays. Dude made plays. So anyway, let me run these down. Okay, Ahmad said, I picked Tom Brady over Joe Montana. Got it. No problem. No problem. Rock with you on that one. I can't argue that. Niners will beat them in February. Okay. Just don't put your money on that. You know, say that over here, and we acknowledge that Keith Hennick's running with the Niners. But I'm just saying, bro, don't put no money on that whatsoever. Ahmad said, I picked Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and Steve Young. See, Steve Young's my fourth dude. Steve Young is if I had a Mount Rushmore quarterbacks right now, Joe Montana would be in that first seat. Tom Brady would be on the next seat. Patrick Mahomes would be in there, and Steve Young would be in there. And I know the old school dudes are like, yes, what about? I'm just telling you what I saw in my lifetime, okay? What I saw in my lifetime. I would want to find a way to put Roger Staubach on one of those mountains. I would want to do that. Keith Hennick, Allmat said, Keith, please don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. So we trying to tell him. We are trying to tell him. I hope he's listening, because if we put money on it and lose it, we're going to be mad for him. All right, listen, let me take a break. I'm going to be right back with y'all in a minute. Right after this, on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Be right back.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah, I got to come in and tag that. Listen, if you are in the greater Cincinnati area or can get there on February the 1st, that's a Thursday, I need you to go ahead and register now for the Just Heal Bro Conference. It is a mental health empowerment conference for men, particularly Black men, not exclusively. Let me get that out, but particularly for Black men. Again, mental health, empowerment, a lot of good positive sharing going on for some great people who know what they're talking about. All you got to do is register for free at justheal.co, not com. It wasn't a typo. It's justheal.co. Again, it'll be February the 1st in Cincinnati. That's a Thursday. If you're in that area or you can get there, then do me a favor. Go ahead and register for that and rock it out. I mean, it's a great conference. I can't wait for it to come to Houston.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
My name is JM&E, and I won $500 on the lunch break for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
All right, we're back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Man, I'm letting the sun shine in. Glad to be back on the show this week, man. Goodness gracious, those games on Sunday. One had me mad, the other one had me madder. So I got to be real. As a fan, I was mad that I was right on both of them. So anyway, Willie has chimed in. What's up, Willie G? What's up, my brother? I can't tell y'all enough about this dude. When I tell you, this dude right here has kept me in this game, because there have been times where I was ready to throw my hands up and leave it all alone, throw caution to the wind and just flip over tables. And this dude has talked me over the ledge. I told y'all when I first met him, it's amazing how I had bad Kermit on one shoulder and I had good Willie on the other. And that brother has been that to me, man. I appreciate you, man. I literally wish, Willie, that I could fly up and you and me go to Just Heal, bro, together. I would love that. And I'm not saying you need it. I'm saying you have been like a mentor to me. You've been like a voice of reason to me. And I'm not saying I didn't have that in my 40 plus years in radio and broadcast journalism, but I never had it the way you give it to me. And I'm giving you honor right now, bro. While I got breath in my body and you got breath in yours and you can hear me. You're a real dude. You're a real brother. And I wish we could go to Just Heal, bro, together, man. In fact, if you tell me you want to go, I'm gonna find a way to get there. I respect you that much, man. I respect you that much. So as far as the what about Dan Marino, I ain't knocking him, because it ain't all about rings. You know, Dan Marino was just a product of what people don't realize we can have right now. You don't have to put Brock Purdy down. I'm not talking to you, Willie. I'm not talking to you. I'm using this as an example. People feel like they got to put Brock Purdy down to elevate Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or somebody else. And you don't. Man, we could have all of them dudes. We could have Patrick Mahomes. We could have Lamar Jackson. We could have Brock Purdy. We could have Lamar Jackson. We can have Jalen Hurts. You know, we can have Justin Herbert if he get his act together. He got a chance to be in the club. Like, we can have a bunch of good dudes. That's why I don't get caught up in the LeBron James, Michael Jordan, greatest of all time. I don't do that. I don't do that because I remember the days of Magic, Michael, Kareem, Dominique. Man, I want to go on, and I can't even remember all the other brothers, but it was about 6 of them that could ball, and it was another layer of brothers below them that could ball too, could ball out. So again, man, Dan Marino can be on your Mount Rushmore. That I wouldn't argue that at all. You know, I mean, heck, Fran Tarkington, Jim Kelly could be on people. I mean, these cats led their teams to 4 Super Bowls. They didn't win none, but them cats ask folks how hard it is to get back to the Super Bowl. Well, ask anybody but Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady how hard it is to get back to a Super Bowl. You know, I mean, that dude up in Pittsburgh is one of the dumbest dudes ever. But his record says the dude can win Super Bowls. Ben Roethlisberger could be on somebody's Mount Rushmore. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, Dan Marino could definitely be on. Yeah, but just not on mine. I got mine. Joe Montana's on that first mountain, the biggest mountain. Tom Brady's on the mountain that's a little bit lower than him. Patrick Mahomes is on the mountain that we still putting rocks on. It could be bigger one day. And then my fourth one is my other dude, Steve Young. Steve Young. I mean, look, I want to put I want to put Randall Cunningham on the mountain because the dude helped change the game. I want to put Michael Vick on the mountain because the dude changed the game. You know, I like game changers. I like dudes that came in. They were so dynamic and so unbelievable that they had to change the game to keep up with them, to include them. So Keith Hennig said he's betting against the Kansas City defense. See, this is where, again, Keith, I'm not knocking you. Now, I'm not knocking you. People don't realize the greatest defenses during the regular season and the best defenses during the playoffs are two different things. Kansas City plays great playoff defense. Keith said, agreed. Montana's the GOAT. Brady is a system quarterback. Well, he had two good systems. He had two good systems. He had a great system in New England. He had a great system in Tampa Bay before they got rid of my boy. Matt, once again, Lions head coach Dan Campbell, bad decision, lost the game. I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to agree with that. All love back at you, brother. Erica with a K, what's up? Keith Hennig, got to give Erica with a K. All right, let me clean out this San Francisco Detroit game, and then we'll go from there. Well, I'm going to be a little bit longer than my 30 minutes today. Be a little bit longer than my 30 minutes today. Okay, so now wait a minute. You up 24-7. You should have been up 27-7 because you chose not to kick a field goal in field goal range on a 4th and 2, and you just decided not to do that. So instead of being up 27-7, you go up 24-7 at halftime. And then you give up 17 unanswered in the third quarter. You get in the fourth quarter, you score a touchdown, and then you get the ball down near the goal line again. And instead of kicking a field goal and tying the game, you decide to go for it again, and you miss it. You got the ball back, but now you got clock against you. So I don't care what anybody says about Dan Campbell doing it all year long. You don't just do it because that's what you do. You do it because it's the right thing to do at that time. And in both those situations, in my opinion, it was the wrong thing to do. In my opinion, it was the wrong thing to do to pass on those 6 points because now you don't need that onside kick. You got a tie game. You got it now. Just play defense against those 49ers or you're up by 3. And now they got to drive and kick a field goal. So one of two things is true. Either you're up by 6 or you got a tie ball game. And he denied his team the chance to do that by not running the football and by not kicking the field goals up, in my opinion. Total yards, Detroit won that battle, 442 to 413. But in running the ball, how do you let San Francisco outrush you? 33 carries for San Francisco, 29 for Detroit. Detroit averaged 6.3 yards per carry. San Francisco, 4.7. Again, they won the rushing battle, 182 to 55, but you should have been in the 200 plus. You should have been in the 32 to 33 rushes per in the game. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I used to say that it was the offensive coordinators that got in big games like that and got cute. But in these cases, no, it wasn't them offenses. It wasn't those offensive it wasn't them coordinators. No. It was those doggone head coaches. I put Dan Campbell and John Harbaugh on the same seat. I just do. Keith Hennig, you want to lose your money, don't you? You want to lose your money. Debo gonna ball out. Kittle, I don't know. I mean, They showed a clip of Kittle pancaking somebody. It looked like he held him and twisted him to me. So it was the wrong clip for me to get all excited about Kittle blocking. But Ayuk got up on national TV and said that the lucky catch was because a ladybug flew on his suit. Now, me as a broadcast journalist, I'm a little old and cranky. I'm a little old and crotchety. I would have been like, oh, okay. I would have given him that Kawhi Leonard. And as soon as the camera was off, I would have like, bruh, for real, did you just say on national TV that you made that dynamic game-changing catch because a ladybug flew on your suit? Yeah, bro, go ahead, go to the locker room. Go ahead, go on, get ahead. I would have cleaned him out of there. All right, then, bye. I'ma head out. Come on, man. I mean, bruh. I know we want these cats to be honest. We know we want them to be engaging, but we don't want them to be. I don't want to call them a name. I just didn't like the comment. I didn't. Even if it's absolutely true. Hey, man, I saw the ball pop up. I stayed with the play, and it worked out for me. Roll with that. But the ladybug, all right. Keith, I'm sorry. I don't care who it is. I'm not voting against the Kansas City Chiefs until somebody beats them. So if San Francisco does it, more power to them. I'm not losing no money voting against Kansas City. All right, let me get that. Keith, looks like you were really trying to make yourself believe it. Let that man have that. Respect that man's call, as we used to say in street basketball. Dan Campbell choked in the playoffs, plain and simple. Yeah, and people need to own that. Nobody's saying he's a bad coach. Like I said, he just can't do initial press conferences, but the dude can coach. Same thing with Brock Purdy. The dude did what he needed to do to bring his team back from a 24-7 deficit. He is not a game manager. That dude was wrapped up in a defender's arm, had his head bent down to the ground, spun out, rolled out, and was being attacked again, and threw the ball up at a receiver that was like this far from the sideline, and the dude caught the ball and picked up a first down. That man was dead in the pocket and got out and made a play. Brock Purdy ain't no game manager. Randy Moss. Brock Purdy ain't no game manager. Brock Purdy is a playmaker, and we can live with that, all right? Listen, I got to get ready to go. Of course, we'll be talking a lot about Super Bowl 58 over the next couple of weeks. I won't be there. I'm not. I see a lot of cats posting, I've been, covering. I'm happy for y'all, man. Congratulations to y'all. I won't be posting that. I didn't even apply. It's been an interesting year with me and the Texans, interesting year with me and the NFL. I'm doing some changes in what I'm covering and stuff like that. And what I do is I rely on the work of some great people. So I want to right now, like I recognize Willie Gibson. I want to recognize AdMax, AD Moore from the AdMax Corner. AD Moore got me a lot of the firsthand information that I used to cover the Texans this year, and I want to appreciate him. Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, I want to appreciate him for the stuff that he sent me for the Rockets and for U of H. And then I want to appreciate my man. I got to tell Juan Beltran always gives me what he's got. He'll be at the Super Bowl. He'll make sure that we have what we need. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. And there is nothing you can do about it except, Keith Henning, don't lose your money betting against Kansas City. All right, y'all. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow for Winning Wednesday right here on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. Number 1. President Biden is being called upon to take immediate action after a deadly weekend attack on an American military encampment. 3 U.S. service members were killed, and reports indicate more than 30 others were wounded in a drone strike near the Jordan-Syria border. The 3 service members were identified as Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, Specialist Kennedy Landon Sanders, and Specialist Brianna Alexandria Moffett, all of Georgia. Number 2, January is Human Trafficking Prevention Month, a designated observance designed to educate the public about human trafficking and the role it can play in preventing and responding to human trafficking. The What You Need to Know newsletter is featuring Lakeisha Walker, CEO of Honorable Women Incorporated. Lakeisha Walker is a survivor of sex trafficking and founded Honorable Women, Inc., inspired to help other survivors come to the same realization that she made. She was more than her past, she was honorable, and a bright future awaited her. Number 3, an overweight diagnosis can affect your day-to-day experiences and health outcomes. Our partners at Black Health Matters have curated a guide specifically for our community to give people who are actively working toward reclaiming their power regarding weight the tools and information to help them succeed. Check out the What You Need to Know newsletter for details. Number 4, 34-year-old Brittany Watts, a black woman from Warren, Ohio, was charged with abuse of a corpse after having a miscarriage at home. It was September 19, 2023, and Watts was 21 weeks and 5 days pregnant when she noticed an uncomfortable fluid leaking, and her OBGYN diagnosed her pregnancy non-viable. After waiting for over 15 hours during 2 hospital visits and never getting her labor induced, Brittany eventually came back during a 3rd visit in the middle of her miscarriage. That's when the hospital called the police. Number 5, tax season is upon us, and if you've dabbled in cryptocurrency this year, it's time to address your tax responsibilities. If you bought, sold, or used any cryptocurrency in 2023, it's crucial to report these activities to the IRS. This includes sales, conversions, payments, and income received in cryptocurrency. Our celebrity CPA to the stars, Katrina M. Kraft, breaks down how to report your crypto activities in today's newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Hoping, wishing, and praying are great, but intentional action is what leads to success. All right. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian Damon Williams, political contributor Cameron Riley, and producer Ahmed Gordon as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.